Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my beautiful co-hosts Judy Loge and Veronique Arsenault. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon. Another Monday, and we're we're just right on the ball today.
Raring to go.
Yeah, wide awake.
We
are. Lots of coffee.
Definitely. It's Monday, right? Yep. So that's what makes sense for us.
Yep.
We have a great show lined up.
As
Some
always.
great guests, interesting. You're not going to want to miss this episode, but we're going to start off like we usually do with our quick chat portion. And usually one of us has a thought of the day. I know there's no rhyme or reason probably to our viewers who's up next. It's always a big guest.
It's nice that we have a thought.
No,
Period.
the fact that we have a
we're
thought.
doing well.
Yeah, it's like a Russian roulette, and it's Vero's turn to give us her thought for today.
Yeah, so I like this one. I've seen it a few times before, but I just thought
Okay.
today was a good one. So fear has two meanings.
Okay.
Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours.
I've been in both situations.
Yeah.
Terrified and I run.
Yeah.
And other times
Yeah.
I think, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And whether it's an audition for a
Yep.
play, I'm terrified.
Right.
It's always scary when you're up against competitors.
Of course.
But
Exactly.
how can you learn if you're the chosen one if you don't try?
Yeah.
And then if you get defeated, well, that's life.
Well, I had just read something along that exact same lines when I was looking at thought-provoking questions that we had talked about one other time. And it's, which is worse, to try and fail or to have never tried at all?
Well, you're always left, if you don't try, you're always left with that, could I have made it?
I know.
Right?
Could I have done it? Whatever it is. Could I have learned to drive? Could I
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
auditioned for a play? Could I have whatever? But if you do try and fail, well, you gave it your best shot.
You've
That's-
got to get up and go
Exactly.
again.
Yeah,
That's just
and I
it.
think we need to, inside our own brain.
The fear of failing
Yeah.
is so great.
Yeah, and we get so wrapped up in, well, people say, you know what, people might talk for a minute or two, and
And
they
then
move
that's
on.
old news.
No.
It's old news.
that's just it.
Because somebody else is doing something else bigger and better.
That's right.
That's right.
That's a good thought.
Exactly.
It makes you think.
Yeah.
These questions
Sure.
are made to
Great
challenge
thought.
your brain.
Great
well, and
thought.
it's hard. It's hard to face your fears. It's
Yeah.
hard. But you know what? Fabulous things come on the other side of fear.
Yeah, it makes you
No,
tougher.
Exactly, that's right. Lots of things that were happening this past weekend.
Oh
We were
my
busy,
God.
busy girls again.
This was
Definitely.
without doubt the busiest week of my entire
know.
year to date.
Oh, you're kidding. Now, we
Yeah.
said that about Easter, but
No,
now
this
it's...
beat it by a long shot.
Was it?
I was out
Really?
every
Yeah.
night of the week at something.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you're
was I
kidding.
actually. Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah, so was I. Whether
You're
it be
kidding.
meetings or an event or
A game.
something.
Right.
Yeah, I was out every night for the last 10 days.
Yeah,
And
and I'm just preparing. I was preparing for my husband's competition that was coming up this weekend. So trying to get a full work weekend, knowing that we were taking a vacation after that, trying to get all my ducks in a row, and then still
Yeah.
get all his things and help him and be supportive and keep him organized and on an even keel. Because if anyone's out there, there was actually a lot of people from Miramichi
Yeah.
that went to Moncton to compete. This is the Atlantic Championships. I just want to say it's
Yes.
all 4 provinces.
Yes.
Amazing.
It's not just New Brunswick or just Nova Scotia. So this is a big, big deal. It's a long night and it's grueling. And for any other family members, I'm gonna I'm gonna create a support group
Yes.
for like AA for those who have family members who want to do this, because it is, besides having like the willpower and the to go and do it, and I just think so highly of my husband and so proud. There's a trickle-down effect that happens with the rest of us in the family to get through it.
I mean, as we talked not too long ago about prep for these things, like the diet and the exercise, and all that affects you
And
at
the
home,
moods
right?
that they go
Yeah.
through because
No.
they're all of a sudden like they can't eat this and they have
Yeah.
to eat this and
Yeah.
I just want to say Miramichi, we did amazing. There was a number of people that went from Miramichi, River City specifically, Jim. They actually placed you know, and in some cases, I just want to mention Amy Trevor's, amazing. There was, I think, 12, if not 18 girls in her category.
Holy cow.
Right, and she came in third out of all of them. That's absolutely fantastic. My husband, Billy, came in second.
I know, that is amazing.
Grand Masters, which means over 50 in the bodybuilding category kind of thing. So
I've seen pictures like hubba hubba ding ding.
He did really, really well.
He looks really, really good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He was, I'm not going to lie, he was a little taken back. He doesn't actually turn 50 until September.
Oh.
So he thought he'd be in the 40 to 49 group. But this is his qualifying year, and that's what the rules are. So you're automatically, there's not too many places where they shove your age ahead and you're okay with it.
No, I wouldn't be.
I know.
But we're proud of them and congratulate them for us.
Fantastic.
That's a beautiful outcome.
It is amazing.
Hard work pays
and
off,
I just want to say congratulations to all those who actually entered and even, you know, put themselves out there and did it.
Face everything and rise.
Yep, exactly. Just like your quote.
Yeah, face everything and rise.
And I was at a play on Friday night, Canada's Forgotten Father.
Oh, right.
It was exceptionally well done.
Was it?
And Sean McCarthy wrote it. He's nothing less than brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And Chris Matheson, a teacher at MV, directed it.
Right.
It was amazing. And Lloyd Cameron, who we all know with Double
Right.
L Productions, played the role of Sir John A. Macdonald. And the cast.
He was in it?
He was.
I know, and you don't get to see him act
No.
very often.
And the cast in its entirety was so well cast, and the costumes were from the period. It was amazing. Like from
they
the
could sell this CD. Did they videotape it?
the first part was from the 1850s.
Wow.
So it just grabbed me, and it's historical. So if you're not a history buff, it wouldn't maybe spin your wheels, but it's a very enlightening play, and it's focused on Peter Mitchell and the story of Peter Mitchell, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And while I was at that on Friday night, you were at the Timberwolves game.
It was amazing.
It must have been a nail biter.
It was
like it was the seventh game as it was.
It was game seven of the series.
I wanted to be there.
I know, and I mean it was a sold out crowd.
I know.
It was standing room only. There, I mean you couldn't even move in the rink. It was that packed.
You're kidding.
Yeah, like
every Miramichi that could be there, I think was there.
Yeah, and everybody that wasn't there was Facebooking. What's the score? What's the score? What's the score? Yeah. So it was incredible.
Intense.
And they played such a game.
No.
But the player of the game went to the goalie from the Truro Bearcats. Yeah. And rightfully so, because we must have had 3 times the shots on goal they did.
Oh my. Yeah. He was outstanding.
They kept hammering and hammering and hammering.
Our boys were hungry.
You know what? We were literally the 4 seats beside the bench. And so I could see the players coming in after every shift, and they were 30-second shifts, right? And they left everything they had on that ice. They left it all out there. They did, and it was tough to watch them.
Terrible.
Because the scores literally went back and forth
constantly.
Right? Tie. Yeah. So your heart's in your mouth the whole time. Like when I was watching the NHL, I can hardly watch it. So it's so tense.
And in the last period, late in the period, they pulled the goalie twice. The first time it backfired, and they scored on the open net. The second time it worked, and they were able. They came within. They actually went up by 2 goals, and then they came within 1 at the end. But it was a tough game. It
was almost like watching the Torontos play this year.
But you know what? Proud of the Timberwolves.
Yeah, everybody needs to be exceptionally proud of the Timberwolves.
I am hooray for the Timberwolves. They fought
17 years since they made it this far.
Yeah,
and they almost one score they would have made it. So
they should be terribly proud. Yeah. They left everything they had out on that.
Yeah. Well, we're proud of them. Yeah. Every single one of them.
Certainly are, and the parents and families of these young guys.
Yeah, it was
exactly.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that wasn't all you did this weekend, was it?
I went to see Maudie, the movie. I won't go into detail.
Do you stay home at all?
No, you should see my house.
Okay.
My son actually moved home from university, so now we have a house in a house. So if you want an extra fridge, microwave, printer,
no.
It's like
you've got the whole same thing.
I was just like, oh my God, what are we going to do with all this stuff? But the fact is, he's home. He completed his first year, and we just have to sort through it. And just happy he did well, and it's done.
U-Haul Storage in Charlottetown.
Yeah.
That's where they've got most of her stuff, because I'm sending her back.
God, the clothes and the shoes and everything. But Maudie was the story of Maud Lewis, the painter, the artist from Digby, Nova Scotia, and that was phenomenal. I think it's one of the best movies I've seen in years.
Oh, you're kidding.
People clapped at the end and said they would go back again to see it.
Wow.
Oh,
so
nice.
Sally Hawkins played Maudie, And she actually, it was based on a true story of the girl who had terrible arthritis, that crippling arthritis as a child, juvenile.
Right.
And as she deteriorated more and more, it moved into her, how she could take on that character and play a disability that well was phenomenal.
Really?
And Ethan Hawke's was her husband. And he played the tough, mean SOB.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was great.
Wow.
And then saw Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
play.
I hear that
Phenomenal
got
things.
James
Yeah.
M. Hill.
So they're still on tonight.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they still have a showing
I
tonight.
work.
And it's been, I think, almost sold out every night because you can imagine with that, theme,
The pictures
everybody
and
knows
the
the story.
reviews I'm seeing all over Facebook. It's you
Wow.
don't want to miss it. Seriously.
No, go tonight if you can get a seat tonight.
Yeah.
Go. It's the last night, and I was so impressed. There were children there that sang that I didn't even know could carry a note, and they were like, I was like, wow, what a voice, and
Beautiful.
costumes again, and just the effort and the set and the whole. I love theater, so I could not miss it.
That's just it. There's actually a couple of great movies coming out, and I know I'm going to blow it when it comes to the names of the movies, but I know you guys will have probably seen the trailer, and I think the three of us should go together to see this. And Goldie Hawn's new movie with Amy Schumer.
Oh my!
Right now,
I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh, you're
I've
kidding!
seen just a little.
It's a road trip kind of thing,
Imagine.
and Goldie Hawn's her mother, who's an overprotective mother, and Amy's a grown woman, and I can't remember the
So
reason
funny.
why they're traveling together and going together, and it looks really promising.
Sounds
I think the three of us should go see that
Sounds
together
good.
and do a big
Unforgettable.
review.
Have you seen that Unforgettable preview?
I've seen the commercial.
Katherine Heigl.
No.
It's not something. I know you're afraid of scary movies,
gosh, no.
but this is just a real.
Psychological kind
suspense.
of thing.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we'll go.
Isn't it?
Can't do
I
it.
love it.
Can't do it.
No, it's good. It's not like
Terrifying.
It's not like the Bates Motel, which that just
No,
got
that's
over. I'm just.
weird.
What am I going to watch now on Monday nights? Bates Motel.
The Voice.
This series.
The
Oh,
Voice.
okay.
I love
Okay.
The Voice.
I saw The Shack a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, based on the book.
Yeah.
I read the book and couldn't finish it.
Really?
I don't know why. I couldn't. I always
It's
finish
not
my
my
books.
typical. It's
Religious.
a man. His young daughter is kidnapped and murdered by a serial killer, and while they're
Oh,
at the
that's
lake.
not the same one I'm thinking of.
They're at the
Okay.
lake. It's religious, and then he can't process it. He can't get over it, and so a year later, there's a note that appears in his mailbox, and it asks him to meet Papa at the shack, which is the shack. The shack is where they think that she was murdered.
Okay.
And so he goes back, and it's his journey through forgiveness and all that.
Yeah.
and meeting God. And,
It's been years since I read that book. That's why it's not coming to me.
No,
Oh,
it was that's not my typical thing.
No.
Right.
But it was interesting. Of course, I cried.
What
But
about Magic Mike? Did you like that?
Yeah, I
kind
love
of-
that.
Now there's a new thing I just want to bring up that I haven't watched it yet. Have we talked about it yet? 13 Ways.
No, but I 13 Reasons.
13 Reasons.
But it's funny. I had that conversation with somebody
Netflix?
this weekend.
13
Netflix.
Reasons
Yeah.
for what?
13 that this girl had to commit suicide.
Oh.
And it's her story.
It's her story
Oh.
through, and she does a letter for each person, 13 people, who mistreated her
Yeah.
for whatever
She
reason.
tapes it.
And she does a monologue. I guess it's done really, really, really well.
Wow.
Someone told me. I haven't watched it yet. A lot of teenagers are watching it. I don't know if teachers are using it in the
They're
classroom.
starting to talk about
controversial, though?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Some people feel like it condones suicide.
makes it
Other
okay.
people think it's actually opens the conversation
Yeah.
to
Or
mental
deters it.
illness
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Well,
And I know my oldest daughter watched it, of course, in university, and and she's 21, and I didn't have an issue with that. She's taking psychology, but my 13-year-old who's brought it up, and I'm like, and if I did sit down, it would be me and her together.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
I don't
know if
want
I
her
will.
going on it
I think
alone
I will.
to
I'm
watch
interested.
it.
I don't know if I will. Yeah.
I'm open to it.
It's detailed, and the biggest thing that my oldest daughter said was that it's present time, like the way the bullying happens and all the thing. It has to do with what they're dealing, what
Yep.
teenagers are dealing with right here,
And
right
this
now
is
with the
the moment.
internet and all of that.
It's huge.
right?
It's huge.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that's out there.
It's got to
and
start the conversation somewhere.
yeah,
I guess.
it does. It does.
Just to
really.
mention, there's a fundraiser coming up next weekend.
Okay.
Okay.
On May 6th.
I
May
never
6th.
get out, so let me write
Okay.
that
Yeah,
down.
I know.
Let me get on that.
Well,
You and I
in.
have nothing to do, so we should
I
go.
need a shovel.
So it's
May
for
6th.
Hospice Miramichi.
Oh,
Good,
okay.
Yeah,
good.
and it's at Capers Pub and Eatery
Oh.
on Saturday, May 6th, so Saturday coming up,
Okay.
starting at 5:30. So there's a $5 cover charge,
That's
50-50
nothing.
draw,
That's-
HCAs.
Okay.
And Ian and Roy are performing, and so are Liz and Ben.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's so
Perfect.
Cape Bruce, so out on Highway 11.
May
That's
6th.
right.
Yeah, just outside the city limits, but
Yeah.
so it's
Not that.
Good.
Miramichi, seriously,
it's
10 minutes
3
from
minutes.
one
Like,
end.
it's, you know.
So
It is.
Yeah.
You get from
There.
one end of the city to the other.
Exactly. So yeah, it's an opportunity to support hospice.
Yeah.
And last night I went to see Isabella Imperatori in
Yes,
concert.
'cause
We
we
had
had
her
her
on
on
our
the
show,
show.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she was nothing less than fabulous. She played
Really?
a 2-hour show, and I've not quite seen many performances where they don't take a break, like at all.
She said she wasn't gonna.
I couldn't believe it. Like
Remember?
she must be very fit.
Yes, vocally.
and yeah, and her. She
I
was,
would think some people think the break actually might slow her down.
No,
and
but I
she'd
mean,
have a
no
hard time
break.
getting up.
No
and
break.
going
Like
again.
she'd sing one song, then the music background would start up, and she'd sing again. And her
Isn't that
range was
amazing?
everything from Adele to Cher to Patsy Cline
Really?
to Celine. She covered it all. And she's a
Yeah.
former model, so you not just had a beautiful girl to look at, you had the talent within. And it was a
that's
great
just it.
crowd at the Vogue Theater, and the money went to St. Michael's Capital Campaign, the
Perfect.
Basilica.
Yeah.
Sounds great. You had some little bit of information you want to share on a previous thing that we had talked about.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron
Oh,
Moran.
Erin Moran.
Moran.
So there was
Yes,
a
from
question
Happy
mark,
Days,
a
who had
question
passed
mark.
away.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little girl that played Joni Cunningham
Right,
in Happy
right,
Days.
right. Yep.
We discussed her last week.
Okay.
And the word had it, when you surf the internet and you look at all the
Right.
reports and the speculation that she had died of, they said, a heroin overdose. And I
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
how
Or something drug related.
something
Yeah.
drug
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
related. However, not so.
Oh,
she and her
okay.
husband in November celebrated their 24th anniversary.
Okay.
And the report said that she went out to dinner with her husband and came back, and they had a lovely evening. And when she went to bed that night, she woke up in the morning with dime-sized blood drops on her pillow. So it was unusual, and it happened the next night. So then her husband, of course, and she went to the doctor and had it investigated. It ended up it was a squamous cell cancer, cancer, which we don't know where they are. If they're on the back of her head, how can you see them, or in your throat,
Okay.
or whatever? But it was the upper area, and it became really invasive and went into her bloodstream and then into her lungs, and she died within weeks. So it was
Okay.
not drug,
Okay.
even though she had a history of drug and alcohol
Okay.
abuse.
Yeah.
It was squamous cell cancer that.
Okay.
Isn't
Was
that
deposited.
incredible?
It's
Yeah.
scary though. We should be
It
going to our
is.
dermatologist
Oh,
and
for sure.
checking
Definitely.
everywhere.
Your entire body.
Yeah.
Really?
Right from the bottom of the feet to the palm of
Yeah.
your hands.
Like,
to
how
the
do you
tip
know
of your
what's
head.
under your hair?
You don't.
Unless you.
Well,
That's what dermatologists
yeah.
are for.
Yeah.
Right? They check all of you.
But you're a hairstylist. Do you
Yeah.
ever see it?
I've never seen it, but if I see something, I am, just before we go to break, because we have just a minute left, if I've seen or noticed anything that's different,
Yes.
I tell my client.
Good.
I have noticed a couple of moles that changed, or all of a sudden there is one there, and
Bumps.
she didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
Right? So she gets it checked and different things like that. So yeah,
Good.
yeah, I would definitely share that.
See, with the
We've
pile
got
of
a-
hair I have, I'd never know.
Oh my
I know.
lord! So that's the
Bit by
reason.
bit.
I'd never
I've
know.
You
I
never
would never
know,
know.
but your stylist would.
Yeah,
You're
true
getting your hair
enough.
colored.
Yeah, true enough.
Okay, we've got more. Have a chat right after the break. Don't go away. And we're back with more Have a Chat. Joining us now, we have Melanie Cripps. Hello, Melanie.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
Yeah, Melanie is actually from the Greater Miramichi Regional Service Commission, and you're here to talk to us about a lot of interesting stuff, actually. Probably not a conversation most people have at the table.
We need
all
to
good.
know.
But
We need to
it
know.
has to be. This is Veronique's least favorite topic, I'm afraid. And if
all
anybody's
of
been
it.
watching us, they know what we're talking about
Not all of
already.
it. Most of it's okay.
It's
Just
a
some of it.
community awareness on the whole thing.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. So first of all, we're going to start off by you telling us about yourself.
I'm originally from Nigawak,
Okay.
and my background is basically I took multimedia at college. A lot of website designs and programming mostly,
Right.
but when I came back from St. John, I lived in St. John for a few years. I worked at IBM. And when we moved back, because my husband got a job in Miramichi, I was on maternity leave. And when this job as waste reduction coordinator came up, I thought, it had some of the components that I used to do and the environment I really hold to heart. So it just went hand in hand. So it kind of fell in my lap. So
How long have you been there now in that position?
I've been there for 6 years now.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's a long time.
And you like it and you find it really interesting what you do.
Yes.
Non-stop people calling and
Exactly.
inquiring as to what they should do with their products. So let's just talk on some of the composting workshops.
So we have 8 workshops scheduled for the month of May. Usually we try to do them only composting. It's using either a green cone that digests your food instead of giving you compost. Or if you want to be a little bit more adventurous, have a vermicomposter in your house with worms.
A vermicomposter with
Yes.
I'm going to pass.
She had me until she said
Okay, so composting to me seems so overwhelming.
Right.
it seems like a lot of work.
My sister-in-law does it in Fredericton.
That's what a lot of people think. It is a lot of work. It is to a certain extent. You have to put a certain amount of the right types of food. Like there's the green and the brown. The brown would be the dry stuff and the green would be like your kitchen waste, vegetable peelings and things like that.
Right.
But it's basically you're layering the stuff. So you put green, brown, and then stir it from time to time.
Oh my heavens.
Okay.
I have a hard enough time with wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry. And we don't do it here. My sister does it in Moncton. And I'm just like, which one?
But you would teach us that at the workshop,
Absolutely.
right?
And there's also the digester, which it's your garbage for your kitchen waste.
Okay.
It sits outside.
Yeah.
And you can put meat, bones, dairy product,
Really?
and anything that comes from your kitchen, leftover food, you can put it in there.
That's
so instead of
neat.
putting it in the garbage,
Yeah.
you're actually putting it somewhere
What
else.
keeps now animals from getting into that outside? in
The
your yard?
the green cone digester actually has a basket that's buried underground, so there's no smell that comes from it. We've
Okay.
had ours for about
Good,
6 years, and
wow.
we've never had anything around it. Well, they've been around. I've seen the
Like
bear walk
besides
by.
the cats and the dogs, I mean, then
Yeah.
there's the wilder animals that
Exactly.
usually.
So those units, are they are they expensive? Is it?
We sell them at a reduced cost year round, so they're $50, and they're about a $110 unit at cost for us. So
Okay.
if you were to purchase it in a store, they'd be $170, $180.
All right.
And at the workshops, we sell them for $35.
Oh,
so these
wow.
are the green cones.
That's a
Okay.
right there to
Yeah.
attend the workshop.
Yeah, and the composters are $40 year round, and we sell them for $20 at the workshops too.
Okay.
Very interesting.
And is there a cost to attend the workshops?
No, they're free.
Wow.
You just
you
have to
become
listen to me for an hour to speak
Fantastic.
to you, and then
Have you become much more vigilant in your household duties and composting yourself and your husband
Absolutely.
since your job? People?
absolutely.
She wouldn't say anything
I
else.
was
No,
gonna
but
say,
really, you had to do probably a complete turnaround, or were you always like that? As a
we
young
were
person
we were
trying to
conscious
sit
of the
conscious?
environment, but once we started, and especially when curbside started,
Yes.
that was
That's big.
You know,
Right.
we used to bring all our stuff to the depots, and we had a composter and a green cone,
Mm.
but with the curbside recycling, we recycle a lot more, and the kids participate too.
That's wonderful.
I struggle with
No,
the curbside. I'm going to be
That's-
honest.
You've got to inform people all about
I
it.
struggle with the curbside.
Well,
I really
I
gotta be
try
honest.
my
What
very
week's
best. I
what.
swear
Right.
to
That's
you
just
on.
it. But you probably have some statistics that show, like for numbers that actually tell people
Absolutely.
how, the difference it makes is what will sell it, I think.
Absolutely.
As far as how much work it is or things like that. But what
But
do you
for
know?
curbside recycling, we diverted 16% last year versus 3 to 4% with the depot program.
Really?
Wow.
So we went from about 500 tons to about 1,700.
Wow.
Wow.
So
that.
there's a big difference right there, and the uptake is it keeps going up.
Wow.
So even though it might be a little bit more
Work.
difficult and
Well, no,
work,
I struggle with it because, and I'll be honest, like in the winter, I found it worse, right?
was.
Because the blue bin got buried in the
I
snow.
know, I know.
Right? And so I was doing well just to get the garbage out.
The winter
Right.
from
Yeah.
AG-double.
I know, like I was doing really well just to get the garbage out.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
did you see a big difference between?
I can tell you probably the end of January with the ice storm
Yeah.
to middle of February, we noticed there was a dip in,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they weren't
Yeah.
picking them up anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going back up. And last year we saw a dip anyway in the winter too.
How do you find people? Are they obeying this new, garbage one week and the recyclables next week? Do you find there's a consistency, or are they just doing it totally, for the most part, not
It's mostly consistent.
Good.
We do still get calls on what is it supposed to be today.
Okay, I bet you do.
Yeah.
I have the calendar, but I still second guess it, and then I look at the street
and see if
everybody else.
That's what I do. Hey, Greg. Hey, Greg, to my neighbor, is it recycle day? And then he's got me.
We look out and see the blue bins and go,
oh,
okay,
today's the day.
But I work in the field, and I still have to ask my husband, what is it this week?
Good.
Because I can't remember.
Yeah.
What are some of the things? What are a couple of the things that people are putting in that they shouldn't be putting in the recyclable bin?
Glass is one
Yeah.
thing. If it gets in the truck, it gets compacted, so obviously it's giving you shards of glass, and it's a hazard once it gets to a sorting facility.
Oh, of course.
Plastic bags.
Plastic
Yeah,
bags, like
plastic
your
bags
Sobeys
don't
or
go
your
Exactly.
Super Value bags or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if it has that recycling symbol on it that says a
Yeah.
5 or a 4, which we accept those commodities, if you can bunch up that plastic in your hand, it's either garbage, you can bring it back to the store.
It's more like hard plastic
Exactly.
that goes in your blue bin.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the stores will take them back. Some of them, like
Yeah.
I've seen the Sobeys and Superstore both have them.
They're always, I'm not gonna lie, they're always full. They need to empty them a little more often, because people are, like, that's one thing that we do.
Yeah.
My husband has actually made everybody a plastic Nazi kind of thing, and with the paper, and he's like, that doesn't go in there, that goes in there, and we're just constantly getting a lesson all the time. So
Fun for you.
Yes. So when we open up, say, a cookie box that has the cookies are lined up in a harder plastic, but the cellophane that's over it, so we're like, okay, this goes in here.
It
that
is.
goes in
It
here.
can be a pain. I will admit, Melanie, it can be very tedious and painstaking, but I'm trying my very best.
How do you make it easier then?
Landfill everything, and that's not the answer.
Right.
So we've looked at other programs too, like the one in Westmoreland, Albert, that has the wet and dry, and we would ask you to put stuff in bags, and then we wouldn't recycle those bags. So the cart is the easiest option.
Okay.
The depot was just on a voluntary basis.
Right.
And your curbside recycling is voluntary, but you have the cart, it's there, so use it. It's helping out the environment. I mean, building the landfill cell costs about $2 million to build and cap. They should last us around 5 years, and they're lasting us about 2.5 to 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay. That's not good.
the space is being used up a little bit faster than it should be. So just that, the additional costs of building the cells, and we all pay for that. So
Wow.
No.
Let's talk about household hazardous wastes, because there is a collection, is there not, at St. Mary's Church certain
Yes.
times of the year?
yes, the next one is June 3rd from 8 to 12. And we collect pretty much everything from paint, oil, cosmetics. If you have any empty cans, bring those to us. We'll take care of them. Batteries, even the large batteries, the propane tanks, all of that.
Old phones that don't work.
Old phones that don't work, and we also take electronics like TVs, computers, and all that.
Why is it important to do a household hazardous waste with your electronics and everything rather than chucking it out in the...
Well, within let's say a monitor, it has some heavy metals that could affect the environment of the landfill, what's inside the landfill. And also there's valuable commodities in there that could be recycled. So there's gold, there's different types of, so if you want to go and bang on.
We need to start exploring this.
I think you just found her niche.
We need to start exploring this.
Oh my.
But there's a lot of valuable commodities within the components that are recycled, and they're used for other things.
Okay.
Yep.
You must get a load of stuff at these collections.
We do. Last spring we had over 550 cars in 4 hours that went through.
Wow.
And about 17 tons of electronics within those 4 hours.
It's incredible.
So those boys that are lifting those TVs and putting them in the bins,
That would be her husband.
they're pretty tired.
The bodybuilders.
And we base the service, we get volunteers to help out. So a lot of the ones that are there are volunteers. Some are voluntold, but most are volunteers.
I think I know which one is volunteer.
Yes. But
8 to 12 on
8 to
June
12.
3rd at St. Mary's Church in Newcastle.
in Newcastle.
The big church.
Yes, and we also have one in the afternoon in Doketown.
Oh.
from 3 to 5.
Good.
Yep.
I have a quick question. Going back a little bit, you had said there is a type of compost that you could have inside that has worms. Where do you get the worms?
You
Who
actually
gives you the worms?
you can buy them on Kijiji or online. They actually ship them to you.
Oh, I'd love to get that in the mail. Instead of a new dress, I'll get worms.
I'm like,
Oh, darn.
and then I'm like, is that something that can be mailed?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
they ship
I'm
them, and we
grossed
have
out.
2 vermicomposters in our office. One's actually right next to my desk, and it gives you a lot of compost.
What about the smell and
There's no
nesting?
smell.
Okay.
No smell. It actually eats our shredded paper at the office.
That's
so.
cool. Not?
Yeah.
So what do you
Okay,
do
wait
with
now.
it when it's full?
Let's come back to that for a second.
Let's not.
The vermi composter eats your paper.
The worms will eat the paper.
They eat it and compost it.
And that's what you need for your
and poop
office.
it out.
That's what you need to get
Yeah,
right on.
exactly.
Order them in the mail.
Right. And then they expel everything
Yeah, we'll
they
go with
eat.
expel.
Okay.
They expel
Okay,
it.
so then what?
So after
then
there's
what,
there's
right?
different layers to the
Okay.
vermicomposters. So you add a layer and you start harvesting the compost. They don't like the light. The worms don't like light, so they'll burrow down and you
I'm
can
kind of
scrape
grossed
up.
out at the moment.
It is.
Well, I'm
it was really
fascinated.
gross at first,
I don't like
We'll have to-
worms.
We don't
I'm
have video. We should have
But
video of
Fascinating.
this.
I'm
I am
grossed
actually
out.
fascinated by
Are you in
this
shock?
because this is totally out of the realm of my consciousness. so
It's interesting.
you've got okay. Just walk me through this. Okay?
Sure.
So next to your desk.
She ordered it and it came to her house. Tell me what
Next
to
to
do
your
with
desk,
it.
you're telling
Yes.
me that there is some sort of contraption,
Yes.
and in
Garbage.
it there's some earth
Yes.
and some worms.
Yes.
And
How
they're
many?
and they're having lunch.
There's at least 1,000 worms
Oh.
in there. You don't see them. You lift
Okay.
up the cover, you don't see them. They're
Okay.
usually underneath eating.
Just
Okay.
to know that they're there. Oh.
So you provide an all-you-can-eat buffet, pretty much, constantly.
Whenever we have any fruit or vegetables that come in our office, we usually
I'm
put
coming
them
back
in
as a vermi.
So paper, fruit, and vegetables. That's what would
Exactly.
go in that. No
Exactly.
meat.
No meat, no bones. They'll eat it, but you don't want that because it'll smell.
So what do you do? What
Oh, that
happens
will,
when
yeah.
the little critters die?
They reproduce pretty fast.
Okay.
So I've been
Okay,
there
so
for
there's the new question, right? Because you were given 100 worms to start.
Right.
how many would you have?
There's about 1,000.
Oh,
in there.
1,000. Oh, my
You
land.
should have one. It would really help your.
You're seeing what's going on here, right?
I would suggest
So
a green
I
cone.
take what's on the top, I scrape it off,
Yeah.
and do what with it?
You can put it on your plants. What I do is soak it in water, and it makes
'Cause
kind
it's
of like
pretty
a
dry, like
compost
dirt,
tea.
is it?
It gives you a compost tea.
Oh,
So it's
yummy.
brown stuff, and then you dump it on your plants, and it's unreal how much it
Just-
works well with
Okay.
plants and
Good.
flowers
Good.
because it'll make
Well,
it's food.
nutrients,
It's
right?
basically
Yeah,
food for
Yeah,
them.
That's a really
Exactly.
good outcome then.
Yeah.
I just,
That's a nice ending.
Like-
I guess my concern would be what if the little critters got out?
They if they're happy, they'll stay in. So it has to be the right
You have to
temperature.
feed them.
You
They
have
will
to
come
feed
out.
them. If it's too dry or if it's too wet, and usually that will level itself out, and you
I-
won't have to.
I am fascinated.
Yeah.
I am fascinated by this because I just
I know.
I get how it works.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I could
Bring
if I
it in
could
my
do
house.
it.
No.
Is this something you could have sitting in the summer months? I could have it outside my house.
Some people
or-
have done that. The worms might escape at that point because it could get too hot.
Well, they can run free there. I'm okay with
Exactly.
that.
A pool party.
They can run free there. You know, giddy up, away they go.
Stop in the office and come and see them.
That's
Okay.
okay.
I think
Yeah. So the
everybody
So the main
should,
thing is to go to one of the workshops.
Exactly.
Get informed.
Yes.
I think everybody should.
That's
come
the
see
main
you.
thing.
Yep.
Do you have any other big messages from the Solid Waste Commission?
For curbside recycling, one thing that comes up consistently is why can't I leave my stuff outside of the cart? Like
yes.
if you buy a big TV and you don't want to break down the box, or
Right.
you're renovating, you have an abundance of cardboard. Some of the reasons are if it rains, it snows in our climate, and we never know what's going to happen.
No.
From moment to
Also-
moment.
Exactly, and it can be soiled by wildlife. It's happened
Yes.
before.
Oh, yes.
That stuff gets soiled. It can't be recycled properly. And also, if there's any type of wind, it can blow in your neighbor's yard. So
So
it's
put the cardboard
That makes
boxes
sense.
in your bin.
Yep.
collapse things as much as
Yeah.
you can.
That makes
good.
sense.
Rinse everything out as much as you can.
Yes.
Like
Tide
My
containers.
Exactly.
least favorite thing is a peanut butter jar.
I stick
Yeah.
it in the dishwasher.
Oh.
No, that's not nice for your dishwasher. You'd have to double clean your dishwasher. But anyway, I found if you take a spatula, those rubber spatulas, and get it in there, you
And
can
scrape it
get
out.
Yeah. It wipes out pretty clean when you do that.
Okay.
But clean
yep.
out your detergent jars and
Exactly.
your
Shampoo.
Yeah.
You can use it until
Yeah.
there's nothing left in there.
That's interesting.
Wow.
But
And
for
even
the
the food
cosmetics, you said you can get rid of all of your old makeup things and
At
put
our
them at the
hazardous
hazardous
waste.
waste because
Absolutely.
I never would
I
have thought
never-
of that.
no.
No.
Even nail polish, all of
Yes.
that. You wouldn't think of it
No, I
being
did not.
hazardous,
No.
but
Lipstick.
I mean,
that
we put it
you
on
don't
our
want.
face, but it's
Well, it's full of
a-
chemicals.
Exactly.
I mean, I was a makeup artist. I know,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I mean,
get
it's
rid
full
of
of
it.
chemicals.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
we want to thank you so much, Melanie, for
you're fascinated.
coming on the show today
Should've
and
brought the
informing us
worms.
about this. Actually, it's a quite important subject. I didn't hear what she said.
I said,
No,
"Oh,
she
should've
should have brought the worms.
It would have been
No,
more
and I'm
interesting.
And
though.
I'm not just saying that. I am actually fascinated by this. Like I don't
She's
know that
gonna
I
Google it the minute
I
she
don't
gets
know
out
that I
here.
could do the vermi thing,
But
but I am fascinated
I
by it and how it
Yeah,
works.
I'm sure our
Exactly.
viewers are
Yeah.
too.
no, that's just it. I'm sure you have a Facebook page.
Yes, we do. It's
Perfect.
GMRC dash solid waste services.
One more time.
Great.
GMRSC dash solid waste services.
Okay, and that's where we can see where all the different information nights are, and
Exactly.
definitely, yeah, for our viewers, it's something you should,
Interesting.
if you're interested at all on how to get rid of that. So we'll be back with more Have a Chat right after the break.
Thank
Don't
you,
go
Melanie.
away.
You're welcome.
Welcome back to more Have a Chat. We were just having an interesting conversation with Melanie Cripps.
Very.
I know I kept saying oh, but I really was actually
Yeah.
fascinated. I wasn't just saying that because she was sitting there.
I know.
I'm
No.
fascinated by it, but
It
it's just
is.
the thought of having 1,000 worms in my kitchen.
I know. Contained in your
Still.
kitchen. Exactly. Up next, we have Sam Crowell joining us. Hello, Sam.
Hello, how are you
Welcome,
today?
Sam.
Not too bad.
Hi.
We are coordinated.
Yes.
I
we're
love
like-
the
We came
hair.
planned. We came
I
planned.
love the hair.
Well,
It just
thank
says
you.
I am who I am, and I'm
Love
fine.
me.
I'm
Hey,
confident.
I'm trying to
Yep.
stay interesting.
No,
That's,
it's
you gotta do what you
confident.
gotta
Stay
do.
interesting.
Yes.
Sew that on a pillow.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Now you're here to talk to us about Buttercup Productions. You're a playwright and director.
Yes.
He is
Okay.
that fabulous.
He is extremely
Yeah.
talented. I can
Stop.
vouch
My
for
head.
that.
My head's
No,
already
you
getting
are
huge.
Extremely talented.
Can't
you
wait
very
to hear
much.
all about it. So you're here to talk to us about what today? You're going to tell us about yourself first, because there might be someone out there who doesn't know who you
Oh,
are.
yes. Well, my name's Samuel Crowell. I'm actually born in Nova Scotia, was only there about 3 months, and so
Oh,
I am
okay.
very much a Miramichier.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I always believe I'm a Miramichier.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
We'll
awesome.
let it slide.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
those
very
first
much.
3 months, you know.
Yeah, it's
but
fine.
yeah, you're in. You're
So
in.
I grew up here in Miramichi. I lived in Chatham for a long time and moved to Whitney when I was 8 years old.
I didn't realize
Okay.
that.
Yes, and so I've always been very involved in theater growing up. Very much the case of a younger sibling watching their older siblings. I remember my brother and sister Liam and Hannah. They both did drama
Yes, they
at
did.
Dr. Loge Middle School
Yes, they did.
Amazing.
with John Bosma.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember all of those shows. Like I remember watching those. I remember watching they did Little Grease. And I remember being wowed by that, and that was something that really got me into theater. And I think,
You can act.
oh,
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
the
thank
talent
you.
just runs right through the family.
Oh, well, I hope so. I
It
hope
does.
it's very kind of you to say that. But yeah, I've always just been involved in theater, and so I'm just trying to continue on. I've gone through school. I went to St. Thomas University.
Miles stomping grounds.
Yes, and graduated in 2015 in English with concentration in drama, and that is what I'm trying to do with my career, and I'm set. I'm gonna do it.
Well,
You are gonna do it.
and I saw your I think it was your first play that you had written. Kiss me, hug me,
Oh,
thrill me.
hold me, throw me,
I
kiss me.
love
You got all the
that.
words.
I was
You got all the words.
What was it?
Hold me, throw me, kiss me, the musical.
And I absolutely
Okay.
loved it.
It was probably my favorite live production I've
Gosh,
seen.
it was so
Yeah,
beautiful.
it really was. And so from that, I mean, I loved you long before that, but I taught.
To think
I
you
taught
brought-
Sam in
Okay.
high
Always in the
school.
family.
I knew there was a
my.
connection
Yeah,
there. I
taught
was like,
Sam in
what
high
is it?
school.
Besides the hair shirt
Well,
thing.
you know, yes, we coordinated. But but that was
was-
the first time I really saw your incredible talent on
I know,
display.
I know.
And but now you've written a new production.
Yes, I've
Really?
recently written, this is the latest show I've done. It's called Stillwater the Musical.
Still water.
Yes,
okay.
and it is something that I'm doing as with co-production with Double L Production with Lloyd Cameron.
One of my
Yes.
favorites.
This is the first time that we are doing something. We are officially co-directors for this time.
That's okay.
And it's my first attempt at doing an original musical with all original music. before with Hold Me, Throw Me, Kiss Me, that was all music from the 50s and 60s.
I love that.
But this
Right.
is the first time, all original music, all original script, everything is new.
Can you imagine?
That's a big undertaking.
It is
Huge.
it's a huge undertaking. I'm very much lucky to have a very wonderful mother, Heather.
I know you do.
She is Heather Harvey Steinmetz is a songwriter in Miramichi.
Yes.
And she's like written songs for my father, Charlie.
Yes.
And so this has been the first time that she's helped lead me through this while I've helped her lead through a script. And it's just been very much a co-production between me and my mom. It's kind of been a therapy as far as
Isn't it
anything.
creative? I mean, it runs, like I said, right through the veins
Oh,
there,
for sure.
from one
Yes.
to the other. Where did you get your idea? Do you want to touch on that? Where the idea popped for this new?
The idea for the show actually spurred with my sister, of course, going back to my family. My sister is an artist. She is a big fan of doing things with like charcoal, watercolors, pastels. She's just recently started doing pottery and ceramics as well.
Oh, neat.
So it's just really going everywhere. And I remember there's this one portrait that she did. It's one that she called Drowning. And it's one that she did in charcoal and watercolor. And it's this woman in a bathtub. And all of the water is rising above her. And Hannah was ended up painting this at a difficult time in her life.
Okay.
And so I've decided, I remember seeing that photo and I was so inspired by it. And that's kind of where the whole idea for the show came from.
Oh my.
Yeah, the whole show is based around a fictional character named Lilac Millbrook.
Lilac?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's always been a creative girl. She's never had any problem with creativity. And as she moves on in life, she goes to university and starts to notice something has changed, something's different. And so this whole story is about how Lilac Millbrook is trying to deal with finding her creative side while dealing with mental illness.
Oh,
and
that's
that's very
such
much what this show is about, mental illness and the idea of communicating with one another.
And we all know the state of
Yeah.
people with mental illness and
absolutely.
the stats out there.
Oh, no,
are-
it's so important.
Yeah.
Well, May is Mental Health Awareness Month,
We're in it now.
right? So we kicked her off today.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Right.
but you have very talented siblings.
Oh, no, I'm surrounded by talented people.
Well, and I
Oh.
also taught his siblings in high school.
Yeah, they're all
Yes,
they're
yeah,
all
yeah.
brilliant.
And you have very talented siblings, both you know in artwork and in expression and writing. So I can understand where you get your inspiration.
Oh, yes, no, I'm very inspired by my family. The whole show is very much the idea of not only having a blood family, which is very important, but so much of my family is my friends and people outside of that. I think it's so important to communicate that your family doesn't just mean someone who you're literally related to.
Right.
It's someone who you feel safe with, who you can talk to, who can listen.
Right.
That's very much what the show is about.
Casting. Do you have to have auditions, or do you have people in mind that you see in the
Oh, no,
roles and approach them?
We are already in the rehearsal process. We actually just started last week.
But no, going back to the beginning.
Going back
when
to
you
when you-
look for your characters for Lilac
of course, of
Millbrook,
course.
like, do you have this person in mind that you know has a certain talent for singing?
Of course.
Or
I've been involved in the Miramichi theater scene for a bit, ever since I think I started in grade 7. So I started, a lot of my friends just are naturally gifted people. So of course there's certain people that I imagine in certain roles.
You know.
And then I just know I have other talented friends who are very capable, strong people. We have a
Right.
very strong cast for the show.
good.
Yes.
And it's a musical.
Yes, it is a 7-person musical.
Oh.
Yes, nice and small, very intimate, but I think that works very well with the show. The idea of being very close. We have Jeffrey Cormier's in the show.
You know I adore
The last
Jeffrey
time I was
Cormier.
on here, I was
Yeah.
on him singing
I
a song
love
with
that
him.
boy
Oh, he's
so
so
much.
delightful.
He is amazing.
Absolutely love him.
And his sister, I adore his
Oh my
sister.
gosh,
Oh,
they
the
have a brilliant-
Cormiers, all of the
adore his
Cormiers.
sister.
So there you go. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
one right
So
there.
when is the production being put on?
Oh, the production will be put on June 2nd and 3rd. We have 2 shows, so there'll be one at 7:30 on the 2nd and one at 7:30 on the 3rd.
Perfect.
And there's actually an additional 3rd show, which is at 2 o'clock on the first day,
Okay.
June 2nd.
Right.
And that one, we are actually sending out letters to the mental health community, to schools, and to ministries to kind of use it as a teaching tool.
Good.
So this is a show that we've especially put on just for people in the community to come see and to help get the idea of like, what should I do if someone I know has mental illness,
That
or
is
what
so
should I do? So I just think it's very important to kind of involve those kind of people.
Certainly is.
And where is it?
We'll be doing it at the Vogue Theater.
Wonderful
Which
theater.
I love. The acoustics, the ambiance,
it's so
it's an
beautiful.
intimate audience.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I'm proud of that theater. I'm proud of
Oh, I
Victor
know.
for restoring and
Oh my
reviving
gosh,
our Vogue
every
Theater.
time I go in there, that is my childhood theater. When I
Yeah.
go in there,
I
it just
know.
sparks
I
so
think
much
all
for
of
me.
us, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question for you,
Yes.
because I don't know you as well as these girls do. And according to them, you're extremely talented, gifted. This comes easy
All of
to
that,
you.
yes, yes.
All of that. So when you're writing or you're producing and you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to put something together, do you struggle at all with
Oh, of
certain
course.
aspects of it
And
that you're
especially-
just get so frustrated?
Of course, especially with this show, since the subject matter is it's a little darker. Of course, there's sometimes because this was a form of therapy that me and my mom used to help communicate with one another, to like music and writing. So, of course, there are moments when I did find it hard and I had to stop and just kind of take a second to gather myself. But I always think of the end result, and like, of course, it is difficult now, but you work through it, and it's just what it will lead to.
How long does it take you to write a play like this?
It all depends. I believe I started Truly. The idea came at the end of On the Wind. That was a show I did 2 years ago.
Wow.
We did 2 versions of it, but this was the one I did back in 2015. And I got the idea there, started writing casually for about a year, then started taking it a little more seriously after that year point, and then it just recently came to fruition.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, and
Writing doesn't just happen.
No, I can't
It's
even
a
Oh no, it's a
gift.
long process.
It's a
and
gift.
yes, and I workshopped it. You have to get people in a room, get them to read through it, make sure it sounds natural, make sure it's good. So it's many people. It's,
Wow.
Of course I wrote it, but everyone else had an influence on it. So not just me by any means.
While you were studying, did you also take part in theater at St. Thomas?
Oh, of course, yes.
Like you were one of the main actors probably in each
Oh
of the
no,
plays.
no,
Come
I
on.
was involved. I was absolutely
Well, you
involved.
know you could do the lead, so
Oh.
or a big part.
Well, I've always been involved in TST. That's Theater St. Thomas.
Me too.
And I've tried to do.
For 4 years, when I attended university and was doing my degree in psychology, I was in a play and had a really good part each and every year of those 4 years. And Ilkay Silk was my director.
Oh, Ilkay Silk.
And
what a good
Ilkay
woman.
Silk is just phenomenal.
I know she's phenomenal in the Fredericton theater community.
Yeah,
for
she
sure.
is beautiful.
We're all very lucky to be in her presence.
I know,
for
and I'm
sure.
lucky to have had her train me and to have me
course.
have had me in her plays.
My youngest daughter left this morning on a bus, Danae, for the Drama Fest.
Yes.
Yay.
Actually,
So
that-
this is the first time she's going to be gone from home for 3 days.
wow.
And it's
And
awesome.
she just Snapchatted me just before we went live of their dorm room at St. Thomas, I believe is
lovely.
where they're housing
Yes.
them for the weekend. So they'll be, I'm assuming, because I've never actually attended one, besides them putting on their play and the other groups doing so, there's workshops and everything
Yes.
that
Oh,
go
absolutely.
on. Is
Funny,
it?
funny enough,
So
I'm
this
actually.
is a great start for her. She likes to sing and she likes to act, but she's never had a big part
No.
because as outgoing as she is, she can be very negative on herself as well. Like she'd look at the part and go, she wants it, but that's probably too many lines for me.
Okay.
So what advice would you have for her to get over those fears?
Well,
And
the first step she's doing, of course, as you said, your daughter's already involved. So first step covered. She's doing good. It's very much about just trying. As long as you put yourself out there and go to at least try to audition, try to get involved. Even if you're a little scared maybe to go on stage, you could even do some stage managing or go in the crew. Of course, that way you'll get warmed up, get comfortable with the stage. So as long as you just, if it's something you really are interested in, I don't see any point not to go for it. Of course,
because I think the
especially-
workshops and stuff like that she's going to get a chance to be part of instead of just doing a play, the actual background part where they get the advice and then
For
learn all the
sure.
little tools and tricks of the trade to do well is going to give her that confidence to step out there and maybe try for a bigger role.
Of course.
Adjudication's such a valuable part of it.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
I've
okay.
adjudicated on a
Yeah.
lesser scale, but I've been adjudicated provincially in theater. You have been. The feedback that you get is just wonderful for your next stepping stone.
Yeah, and we saw that last week with the music festival.
Yes.
The Miramichi
Okay.
Regional
Yes.
Music Festival.
Right.
They bring in adjudicators from all over the
yeah.
place.
Do
Like
they?
some, they come in from all over the country.
I know.
And really, it's that opportunity to
Get
share their
feedback.
knowledge and.
Because I would think they would, and you would know, they talk to the children at the level that they would
Yeah,
be
they're
at.
at.
You know
They
what I mean?
do.
Kind of thing.
And you
very
have to
considerate.
get constructive criticism to
Yeah.
further
That's
your
what-
ability. You have
Yeah.
to take it with a grain of salt, not with a grain of salt. You have to take it and value it
That's
and say,
right.
this is
Yeah.
what I need to really work on.
The one little thing I can remember they said when it was here last year, I think it was, and I remember being back there when you came back and with Lloyd Cameron, and I was off to the side and you spoke to her, and I think it was Lloyd, if I'm not mistaken, specifically looked at my daughter, and because she had a part where she had to be an old person and sort of stumbling when she come out, and the only thing he said to her was that you're that character right from the minute the corner of that curtain on
important.
and off.
That's beautiful advice.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I said to her. I said, you did so good.
She did.
But then you walked off like you were just one of the
Yeah.
other people. So you
Yeah.
have to stay in character.
Fall
the
into
whole time.
yourself.
Absolutely. The Drama Festival is
Right?
such a good opportunity, especially to
Okay.
see how many professionals are in Canada and New Brunswick. And they're so good at talking to younger people about that.
Are
and
they?
like being kind and just
Yeah.
understanding. They really know what they're doing.
Because she's in awe of the rest of the
Yeah, I'm
talent
sure.
that's there.
I'm sure.
She's just like,
How often do you rehearse? How often does your crew rehearse for something like this?
Well, this show, it's a little tighter of a schedule that we have. So I believe we're doing usually 2 to 3 rehearsals for about maybe like 3-4 hour periods or so.
Goodness
a week?
gracious.
That's long.
a week?
Yeah.
A week? Okay.
Absolutely, but of course, like actors go in and out, of
Yeah.
course, not all scenes can get everyone. So we try to, of course, since we have a younger actress in the show,
Okay.
we actually have a 12-year-old in the show.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Ooh,
Ivory.
good.
Her name is Ivory. She's very sweet.
Yes.
Yeah, she's done other shows. I know she was in The Lion Kings at James
Ivy?
last year.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Ivory.
I can't wait.
Ivory,
Ivory.
yeah.
I know
Ivory.
her.
Yes.
Yes, Ivory
yes.
Gadsden.
Yes, Ivory Gadsden.
Oh, neat.
Just a real quick question. If you have acting ability like I do and just a below average singing voice, you wouldn't consider people for roles, would you?
What? No, absolutely.
really?
Everybody has the opportunity to grow, and if a good director can hear the voice, like if you have a good speaking voice, that's the first stepping stone to having a good singing voice.
Okay.
So there.
Absolutely. So I think everyone can be worked on. Of course, a director knows what's best for the actor. They want to make sure they're comfortable, make sure they're making a good choice for them.
Of
You're not
course.
making a fool of themselves. So
No.
of course, the director will lead you.
So okay, so then your advice as a playwright and director and gifted. So someone like myself who's only, I think the last time I acted was in grade 12 for Lloyd.
Hey.
But if I all of a sudden decided I wanted to go out and try out for something, what would your advice be for somebody like me?
All I can say is that before going, if you're nervous, the best thing I always have to do is prepare. Just like look over it before. Don't just go, I'll wing it, see if it goes well. If you want to just give it, hopefully it goes well. So I just say always just prepare as best as you can. Pick something that you really feel like you care about, maybe a song that you really love, maybe it's a little piece of something you've seen in a movie you really love, and just make sure you rehearse.
They don't let me sing here.
Oh,
No.
I knew she was going to bring it up. I knew she was going to bring it up.
I want to sing.
You can sing.
I want to sing with all my heart and soul.
And
But they won't
we
let
Sing
put a
right from
stop
here.
to it every week.
Every-
They
yeah.
do every time. They won't let me do it.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that we've heard the song 1,000 times.
Oh, that's a good. See, that's perfect.
Let
That's a
it
great
go.
audition song. Great
Right there.
audition song. Hey.
Right there. Hit it. I'm done.
So I'm really excited for this play.
Me too.
And how many plays have you written now? So your third?
Oh, I believe this is my this will be my 4th official production as Buttercup Productions with Lloyd Cameron's Double L
Isn't
production.
that something?
Wow.
And you're
That's
loving
fantastic.
Absolutely, of course. And every time we do something new, actually, this show is the first time we're actually trying to do another event beforehand as a kind of PR thing,
Oh,
for
right.
sure. We have another art gallery showing that we'll be having at Creative Grounds the week before,
Okay.
May 27th.
Cool.
Okay, May 27th, that's going to start.
And so-
Okay.
We love Creative Grounds.
Yes. Oh, that place is beautiful.
Okay.
Absolutely. Victor Summers is the greatest guy to work for.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sam, for joining. I know we're
We'll
all
be at your
done,
play.
almost
Oh, of
done.
course.
Yeah, so just quickly again, the play is
So
June
the-
2nd and 3rd
Yep, at
Right.
7:30
at the Vogue Theater.
at the Vogue Theater. And when the tickets are coming out in advance, you can buy them at Creative Grounds or
Okay.
at Brookdale Nurseries.
Brookdale Nursery. Is there
Yes.
price on it yet?
Fabulous.
There's 15 for children, students, and 20 for adults.
All right, which is
That's
the going
fabulous.
price for these concerts these days and
Exactly.
shows.
Absolutely. And
You'll
then-
do fabulous.
Oh, thank you very
Yes.
much, dear.
And to all our viewers, make sure you get out and check out this play, Still Waters,
Yeah.
the musical. Thank you so much,
No
Sam,
problem.
for
Thank you so
joining
much
us.
for having
Can't
me.
wait.
Definitely. And to all our viewers, definitely check out our Facebook page for any of our information on the shows that we've done previously that you want to check out. We are international. You can also check us out on
Yeah.
YouTube.
And happy
so we'll see you
May.
next week. Bye-bye.